So let's get the biscuit.
Frozen biscuit.
So when we first started conceiving this podcast, and I was pitching the idea to my main men here, there was an article that was posted everywhere, and it was how to fix, I'm using the air quotes here, fix the NHL. And I wanted to get
it is broken.
Your collective ideas on.
I had no idea, so thank God you tell me about it.
Like Matt,
the commissioner put himself in the Hall of Fame this year.
Really?
In case you're interested.
This is why hockey season doesn't start till January to me. Gary Bettman, you're on the suck list.
Oh yeah, I thought he had a permanent place there.
I know everyone else hated him. I just wasn't sure why, but that's good enough for me.
Yeah,
so.
The commissioner is now the active commissioner is now in the Hall of Fame. So this year.
Talk about it. Let's get it.
That's all that needs to be said. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
That's dumb as fuck.
Tom Brady's going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame before he retires. No,
that's not allowed.
It shouldn't be allowed for hockey. Whatever. I know players aren't allowed to go in while they're active. Neither should the commissioner. Here you go, bud.
I don't think if you're active in the game, you shouldn't be able to go in.
Right. You shouldn't be able to go in for what you're doing right now.
Yeah, because what if you screw it up? And then I'm taking you out of the Hall of Fame.
Some would argue that he is screwing it up.
I was just making the devil's advocate point. So,
I would like.
How many strikes has the NHL had under Bettman's watch?
At least one, possibly two. They might be well on their way to a third coming up here.
I feel like the conversation happens in the NHL way more than anybody else.
Yeah, because
I understand the MLB had some issues for a hot minute, but I think they're safe now.
Yeah.
So how do we fix the NHL? Is that where you were going before?
Yeah. So this guy listed a copious amount of bullet points here, and I have them on my little cheat sheet. Oh. As you notice, there are no computers this time.
Yeah, we didn't have to wait for yours to boot up today.
Maybe I don't know how to use the internet. I don't know.
To be fair, that was some of the more entertaining aspects of it.
We're just looking at it.
I think it was just so cold the laptop was mad at me.
Laptop's like, what the fuck we're doing?
Batteries die faster in cold weather, right? I don't know.
It's the other way. I think they last longer when it's cold.
Supposed to keep batteries. That can't be right.
Batteries in your freezer.
Anyway,
are you the guy that puts the screws in your tires for extra traction?
Yes.
What?
That's Anyway, so this guy outlined some things, and I want your opinion on them.
To people.
It's on Facebook. I thought it was real. You didn't see it? Mm-mm. I'll send it to you.
Numero uno, remove the goalie trapezoid. This came out during the 04-05 season, known as the Brodeur rule.
No, hate that. My goalie right now, Carter Hutton, can play the puck like an extra defenseman, and that's bad enough behind. It's good for us right now because we have one that can do it. But
so wait, I'm sorry. Is the trapezoid good or bad?
I want it in. I don't want them to take it away because I don't want the goalies to be able to go into the corners and even have more of that freedom.
Why not?
I feel like that would cut down all of your DNCs. Sometimes you just need a good DNC. Lay the puck into the corner.
For those playing the home game and the football fans out there, that's a dump and chase.
Yeah.
Dump and change, bro. Dump and change.
Chase.
It could be both.
Yeah.
Dump and chase and change.
It doesn't like to stay in one
I hope
lane.
Adam Weepert walks in the door in the middle of this right now.
He'll tell you all about DNCs.
You guys keep talking. I'm going to see what you're doing.
I want it in there. I feel like it limits the goalies who can really handle the puck. I'm glad that I have one now, but when I don't have one,
you don't want it.
Whatever. I don't. Right. I want to keep it in there.
That makes sense.
FaceTime.
Let's see what's up.
Hey,
bud.
We got Weepskis on the FaceTime.
What's the next one up?
Next one up. They want to completely ban fights altogether.
We're talking NHL on the podcast here, bud. We're FaceTiming it live.
Big penalties.
Right on.
Big penalties for injury-inducing hits. So if you rock into somebody and they are hurt, you may get a penalty in game, and but if you don't, there's a big penalty coming back on it. I
think fighting needs to be in the game. I mean, it's basically removed now, but it still comes up every now and then. It's mostly when somebody does something stupid to a star player, you get the one defenseman who knows how to fight to go and hit somebody and maybe drop the gloves. So I think the fighting part needs to stay in there. Otherwise, you'll have guys taking more cheap shots than they already do.
Who the hell doesn't like fights in the NHL?
I want more fights. I want to go back to the days when Petty Wawa and every goalie in the goddamn league met at center ice to throw down. That's what I want.
Yeah, Ray Emery.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Weeps, while I have you here, and I don't want to waste any more of your time because it looks like you're doing homework or something.
Still got the flow going, though.
Yeah, that lettuce, though.
His hair looks sick.
An old-fashioned, so I'm writing it out. She's making it perfect.
Is that a Christmas list?
Are you drunk?
Checking it twice.
All right. All right, so real quick, and I'm going to put this to the mic. We'll see how it happens. We'll do our best. DNC. I need what you think DNC means.
Well, DNC is just an integral part of the hockey game. It's a dump and change. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sorry.
It is integral to the game.
I mean, that's just something that, as hockey 101, you know, you gotta rotate them lines out. A lot of the times what'll happen is you have mismatches on the ice between different lines, you know, coming off penalty kills and power plays and such. So I think a dump and change is a nice little wipe of the slate, you know, to get everyone back on the same page.
Listen, Weeper, you are a natural, and if I ever feel like talking about soccer in my life, we'll invite you out. So hopefully we'll see you here in a little bit, and I appreciate your input.
We're gonna call the Weeper segment red cards, yellow cards.
Goodbye.
Sick haircuts. That was great.
We've gone off the rails.
Yeah, whatever.
This is great.
So banning fights is stupid. I agree. Screw that. You know, injury-inducing hits, sometimes you can't help it. A clean hit hurts somebody.
Yeah,
That's life.
Unless it's Tom Wilson going around to hit people when they're not looking.
He's a trash panda.
Yeah.
He's a trash panda.
You suck, Tom Wilson. Suck.
More. Matt Taylor putting people on the suck list.
You suck.
He's a natural.
God,
he fits.
He's on the edge of his seat. I'm about to pass out.
No more trade deadline and expanding the rosters later in the year.
You need some sort of trade deadline. I don't want a team that gets eliminated with a week to go to
That's
just
like
sell off all
NFL
their
fantasy, where like one guy's helping his buddy at week 17 to win the whole thing.
Yeah,
you fuck
not
off
that
with
that would really happen, but I don't want the option. Yeah. So no.
Like who's to say that like two GMs, one's
right.
Who wrote this article? I'll tell you how to fix the NHL. Here we go. Forget this article.
I'm gonna turn my mic off.
3-2-1 points. Overtime wins should not get you the same amount as regular time wins. Mm-hmm. Should only be 2 for an overtime win, 3 for a regulation win, 1 for an overtime loss.
Yeah, make it go get the win.
Yeah. I think that would make things a lot more interesting. They should absolutely do that tomorrow. That's
I'm
really
okay
all
with
I
that.
got.
Change it
What else
up.
you got on here?
Keep them coming.
They want the icing on shorthanded squads. So you're on the penalty kill. You just fire it down the ice to waste time. It slows the game down and it makes it boring. That you can just there's no rhyme or reason to it. You just fire it down the ice and
I'd have to see that one in practice.
DNC from your own end.
I don't want to shit on that prematurely. I like, as a penalty killer, being able to dump it. That's the penalty for the power play team losing the puck.
I would argue that if I'm shorthanded and I get an icing, that would in fact slow the game down. Like the fact that the game doesn't stop moving because I can dump the puck down there. You get fresh lines, and now my action keeps moving. The appeal to hockey in some other sports, because the people that don't like football, their argument is it's play done. And I think the appeal to hockey, especially when you come playoff hockey and stuff like that, is the action is just rolling.
Tempo.
So I don't want more whistles, and if I'm getting an icing shorthanded, I'm getting whistles.
Your tempo's moving, but the time is ticking away, which they're
Yeah. Also, in today's society, I apparently have an attention span of 15 minutes. So the fact that an NHL game is played in 2 hours and 30 minutes, give or take, as opposed to a 3-hour football game or 3:15 baseball game, am I really mad that the clock ticks a little bit?
No, I need to see it in practice, but I'd think no. I'd want.
I don't like it. I mean,
what I would like is the delay a game shifted a little bit. I think it's I understand why it's in place, but I think it's very black and white.
You mean sending it out into the crowd, that delay a game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, like in your own zone.
Right.
And, you're trying to bounce it off the glass and, get it out. And I know it's impossible, so saying this is stupid in general, but I almost want it to be refed by intent as a judgment call. Did you look? Cause we're just seeing pucks and it's an accident,
right?
But it's getting called.
Go so is that on the boards, bank it down, and
is that your punishment for just not being good enough? I don't know, but I've had questions about that for a little bit, and I don't know. I could be off base. It could be stupid. I don't know.
I don't think you'll ever get it with intent or non-intent. So it's either it's a penalty or it's not a penalty.
Which, in that point, it's a penalty.
Yeah,
if it's a mistake, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
I think I would too, but it's just sometimes you see it called and it was just.
The refs already are idiots, and
like the ones that roll up on sticks and go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
like that one's
just how it is.
bad luck.
Yep.
So, but am I going to take that out of the game? I guess there's bad luck and everything. Right. So, what are you going to do?
NHL players in the Olympics. I personally loved it. I loved when every 4 years the NHL has the Olympic break and you see legitimately the best in the world play the game.
I'm assuming you're going to have Bettman comments at this point.
Oh yeah.
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 Have at it. I've got a couple of thoughts, but I know he'll overlay me. So
up until the previous Winter Olympics, NHL players played. This past, they did not go.
True. So that's to your point earlier about why they're getting strikes so often. It's always the NHL doesn't want to give anything up without getting something in return. So international play for the Olympics specifically isn't it's not what the owners want.
It's not in the interest of the NHL.
Right, but the players and the fans and anyone who enjoys hockey loves it. So the NHL wants to do their World Cup of Hockey, which they did a few years ago. The Team North America under-25 team that included Jack Eichel was a lot of fun. I did love that. I wish I could get more of teams like that to see how they would fare against normal talent or older talent, not normal talent, older talent. But Gary Bettman knows that that's what the players want. They want to go to the Olympics. So he's waiting for this contract negotiation to come up to say, okay, you want to go to the Olympics. We don't want you to, so give up something. Give us more money. Give us whatever rights that he's trying to get. So they'll probably go back to the Olympics, but not until a new CBA has come to, and Bettman sucks. You suck, Gary Bettman. I hate you.
Don't you think that, and to your point, me as a fan, I know I liked them in the Olympics, and the players liked it, the fans liked it. Couldn't the NHL just capitalize off it? I mean, you're promoting the game of hockey in general.
It would help the game of
that?
hockey, but it wouldn't help the NHL. That's the.
But there's no way they can't find a way to capitalize off it. If you're growing,
they absolutely could, but they.
Because and I've had gripes about this in the past about like ESPN doesn't cover enough hockey for my liking.
Right.
If I can grow the game wider, that's good for everybody.
I agree.
It's got to be good for everybody.
I love the Olympics.
If I gain X amount of hockey fans and somebody who would never watch the NHL is now watching the Olympics,
right?
Not the NHL, they're watching the Olympics, and they see hockey, and they're seeing the best talent on planet Earth on the ice, and now they're a hockey fan.
Right. You got 16 teams that have home countries watching this. You're telling me
And those foreign countries are buying NHL jerseys that are made here. I mean, the money's there.
Yeah, but a kid watching the sport new in one of these countries sees Jack Eichel or Connor McDavid or one of these young guys who are absolutely awesome at hockey things.
Doing awesome hockey stuff.
They probably want to do that. Now I'm watching Brian Giunta captain the USA team last year. Like, No offense to Brian Giunta,
Yeah,
very good hockey player.
Nice story, but no thanks.
Yeah, but he's
that
not
ship's sailing.
inspiring anyone in Sweden to pick up a hockey
Yeah,
stick.
when the announcers are trying to tell me what a good leader he is, as opposed to, and again, there's nothing to take away from a good leader, but
Locker room
for
leader.
somebody who's trying to become a fan or you want to catch their eye, me telling you a story about old man Giunta being a good leader is not making me a fan. I need the dude that like Eichel's goal the other day.
Right.
I need that action to go, oh my God, that was awesome.